Reed went to the doctor because today. He hurt his back with Kevin. I work out with Kevin all the time. Do you work with Kevin?
I love Kevin.
Yeah, you do. I know you work out with
So
Kevin. We talked about you.
I was working out with Kevin.
Mike, just hit record. We'll see if this is good. By the way, everybody, thank you. We're at Sarahbeth Taite. Go ahead. Continue.
I was working out with Kevin when he was unloading
in a car
out of a Buick.
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen those pictures.
Now I don't work out.
I've been with Kevin like 4 years.
Wow.
Like a real, maybe 3.5, like a real relationship.
That's a long relationship.
That's also like when you work out with somebody, like a trainer, that's very intimate.
For sure.
Because you're spending an hour, however many times a week. For me, it's usually 3 times a week. Like it's just you and him or you and her, whomever it is.
Yeah. And he pushes you.
Yeah,
too.
like I get pissed.
I
go hard.
I used to get pissed.
But I'm like, every once in a while, it's like, dude, chill out.
I know. We got close because I was always looking at him like, I cannot do that. I know that you think it's fun to make me try to do that, but I cannot do that. And I didn't even know how to do a squat or anything when I started with him. So,
but you ended up doing it.
I ended up doing it.
Same.
And I was so mad at him as I was doing it.
Same.
And
I'm mad at him right now.
for no reason. I'm still mad.
For no reason. I really like you. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
It's the first time you've been over here for this.
Yes.
You've been to the show, obviously, a couple times, and you've been out, but you haven't been over for like long form. So super cool. I said when I came in, I was like, oh, you're one of the few I like. So I don't know. How long have we known each other?
You're one of the few I like. I think we met in 2020.
I think it's that long, huh?
Yeah,
Man,
because
you and Klug same day. You and Kevin Klug same day. Big day in my life.
It's a long relationship. I want to say 2020 because it was when my first kind of viral TikTok thing was happening, and I was one of the first on that train. I feel like
so you're gonna
TikTok was so different.
So this is how I know that we have kind of a list of experiences together and a bit of time together. I don't even remember that. Like I don't even know what it was. I don't even know how we met the first time because again, we've just done stuff and you've done the show and we've done show. So I don't remember what.
That's a good thing, I guess.
I agree. No, I completely do because there are people that I've had on the show a bunch of times or friends of mine that I'm just like, I have no idea how it originally happened because there are 4 or 5 or 6 other things that are also involved in that. And I don't remember the first time. What was that? What did you do? How did you come up? Did I invite you from TikTok?
So I remember it because it was a great day in my world. I started getting messages, my phone just started blowing up one day that you had shared. I think you did a duet on TikTok of my song Long Way and invited me on the show.
So was I holding up like words or anything next to you while you were playing?
No, I don't remember. See, this is what's funny. TikTok was so different that I'm like, what was I doing? I don't know how you did it.
Mike, do you remember?
I think you were just like a side-by-side duet.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Because I can remember that, but I don't know if I was just like watching her and at the end I was like, hey, you should come on. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
You like typed
It feels
something.
like a homecoming, like when you ask, that's what it feels like we're describing. Like when somebody shows up outside the door, a promposal, it's like, will you go to prom? That's what it kind of feels like in my head.
Yeah, you gave her a bunch of candy, balloons, the whole thing.
Did you start on TikTok early?
Yeah. Like, I just remember, so I didn't really know. I thought TikTok was just only dancing, and I don't do that type of thing. So my husband was the one, Colby was like, you've got to get on TikTok. There's people posting demos and songs, and I just feel like your songs need to be on here. People need to hear your songs. And I was like, well, that sounds like something I can do. As long as I don't have to dance to my songs, then I should be good. And so he was like my TikTok manager early on. And we just had so much fun with it. And I just posted that demo one day and it went crazy, which is funny because looking back, like the metrics were so different. Like going insanely viral. It wasn't millions and millions and millions of likes. It was just, I don't know.
A million.
I don't remember.
Was significant back then. A million.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what, I mean, everything was so, it wasn't so saturated. And it was really fun to just watch. Instagram didn't have reels. I'd never had any traction on social media really ever before. It wasn't something that I had focused on, and so it was really fun to
You're
watch it go
entering
crazy.
the good old days stage of your life now. You hear it,
Yeah.
Mike? She's like, back in the good old days.
Back in TikTok
She's
days.
finally there.
Listen, I just turned 27, and I'm like, oh, when I was young.
That's about
I
right.
moved-
That's when it first starts to happen. The first good old day stage is right when you're creeping up on 30, a couple years out. Yeah, you're getting there. Welcome.
Yeah, thank
I've
you.
been through a few good old day stages at this point.
Thank you.
When did you move to Nashville?
17, 10 years.
2017.
No, I was 17. It was 2015?
Wait, you moved to Nashville when you were 17?
Yeah.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah.
With
Craziness.
who? With who?
By myself. I had a roommate that I found.
Did you finish high school?
Yep, early.
So you finished school. What's your parents' situation? Are they together? Are they alive? Well, I don't know. Like mine aren't and aren't. So I always feel free asking that because I was.
They're together. They're alive. They're amazing.
Okay.
And they let me do this, which now I just think is. I mean, I thought it was the coolest thing then, but
As you have a kid now, a baby.
yeah,
And
I'm just amazed at them letting me come chase this dream. But I signed my first publishing deal when I was 14.
And how did you even know people at 14?
I got a publishing deal basically on my first trip to Nashville.
And how did you know where to go on your first trip to
So-
Nashville at 14?
I found NSAI online in Colorado, just doing Google searches.
Explain what NSAI is.
It's an organization that really just helps songwriters and creatives in this town really grow and be championed. And I knew nothing about it back then, but I knew that they were having. It was called a Songposium, and they were having just a week where they were holding all these classes on Music Row, and so you could go to. I remember sitting at ASCAP listening to Scott Hendricks give a talk on record labels and
You were 14?
Yes, I was 14,
And you went to a talk?
I went to a talk.
Dang.
I knew that I wanted to learn this business, and it was my 14th birthday actually, and my parents said, "Well, we'll take you out for your birthday if you." What are we going to do when we get there? And I said, this is what we're going to do when we get there. And I think my first class on my first day was how to get a publishing deal 101.
How much music had you played at 14, even around the house?
A lot around the house, but not much else.
Did you play guitar at all at 14?
Yep.
Where did you get your guitar?
From my piano teacher, ironically. I'd been playing piano for most of my life, and my piano teacher introduced me to the guitar. She said, I think you would I was probably 10 or 11. She's like, I think you would love this. And I borrowed hers for the weekend and taught myself online basically. And with country music, I knew 4 chords, and that was all I needed to know. And I was learning songs, and that's really what inspired me to write and to just kind of start fitting melodies together and lyrics together. And I was 14.
Sure.
They're not good. They're not, what I'm writing now, but it was just the start of that creativity and love for it that brought me here. And I felt I was already in love with country music. I knew that this is where it was all happening. And
How'd you know where it was all happening? Nashville, the TV show?
No, it was well before that, thank goodness. But it was really, honestly, I loved Reba McEntire. I really loved classic country music. And at some point, as I started researching Loretta Lynn and Tammy Wynette, and I was watching YouTube videos of Dolly and Porter Wagner, and I just was like, oh, okay, there's people who write the songs, and they make a living just writing the songs, and this is where all of this is happening, is Nashville. So I didn't know much else. I just knew I needed to get here, and I barely knew what a publishing deal was, but...
Yeah, I didn't know that I was like 30. I'll be honest with you.
You're like, I just figured
Well,
that.
I was like, people that sing them don't write them? What? Like, I was shocked the first time that I kind of learned that.
It's shocking.
Yeah, you just expect if it's being said with someone's mouth, they also wrote it with their brain. And that's not the case a lot of times. Sometimes it is. You know, I was culture shocked whenever I learned that.
And artists, I feel like especially the country artists that we grew up listening to, like I feel like they did such a great job of making you feel like they were a part of writing that and like that was their story.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like a curtain being pulled back when you realize.
Yeah, and good and bad both come from it.
Yeah.
There's some greatness to it as well. I like artists that are really good songwriters, but still will find a song they didn't write and still pick it because that shows how secure they are as a songwriter. And that seems like it's counterintuitive. And I'll use Cole Swindell as an example. Mm-hmm. And I like Cole, but Cole will do an album, and Cole's a really good writer. But Cole will have 3 or 4 tracks on his record he didn't write. And I'd be like, so you didn't write this one? And a lot of times, I won't even wade into that water of you didn't write this with somebody. I'll just be like, hey, why'd you pick this? But with Cole, I know he's so secure as a writer and he's so good. I'll be like, so you didn't write this one? Why? And he's like, they wrote what I was trying to say better than what I could have said. And his thing is, he hopes people pick his songs that he writes in the same way that it all kind of evens out in the mix.
Yeah.
But I always respected that about Cole, and that he's like, I feel like I'm a really good writer, but sometimes people just write things better than what I could have written it, and I'll select it and sing it and give them all the praise. And hopefully people are doing that to me.
I love that so much. And I think to be in this town, especially to be a writer in this town, to think that we always have the best song in our writer catalog, I just feel like that's a naive thing to think because there are so many quality, incredible songs being written here every day that are never seeing the light of day.
How often are you writing now?
A few times a week.
Really? Still?
Mm-hmm. It's honestly, it's like my favorite part of this whole process.
Like, where are you in the process? Because I have a lot of questions about like your superhero origin story, but I'm just curious about the process and where you are now because I haven't talked to you in a while. Like, so you write a few times a week?
Yeah.
Obviously, I know you had a baby.
Yep.
And I just read that you have another baby.
I'm having another baby.
That's public, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Another girl.
So how does he feel about 2 girls? Oh,
Colby's pumped. He's, this is just what we know now. We're like, we don't know what we would even do with a boy. We have a girl dog. It's
all girls in Colby.
Yeah, it's all girls in Colby.
Your process. Tell me where you are in the process as a artist, as a creator.
Yeah, I just put out my EP that I got to work on with
in August, right?
August.
Yeah.
Yep. Got to work on that with Nathan Chapman and Parker Welling, and I just think creatively, this is the time that I'm the most proud of. Anything that I've done in the past 10 years, you have different moments that are successes along the way, and this project was really just something. Even before we put it out, that I just felt like, wow, this was like my I've made it moment because I got to work with some of the most talented, in my opinion, some of the most talented people in this town who, when I got here, when I was 15, 16, starting out, I mean, I would have died if you told that girl that I got to work on a project with the writers I got to write with and the producers. And so that in and of itself has been a special process. And I've really worked on that for like a year and a half, really. So that was a long time coming.
Were you writing, creating, and then beating yourself at certain songs? Meaning you probably wrote a bunch of songs. I don't know how many you didn't record or how many you started recording. I don't know. Would you write songs like, I think this is one I really feel passionate about. Then you would kind of beat it and then go, you know what? I think for what I'm trying to accomplish, this one's better. I'm not going to use the other one. Did that happen at all in the process?
It did, to the point where that happened when we were done we had mastered 4 songs, and we were completely. We thought we had put a bow on this project, and then right before the end of the year, I wrote a song, and I just knew. I mean, I love that feeling when you leave the writing room and you just feel like you got something good. Sometimes you have that feeling, and then 2 weeks later, you're like, "Wow, that was terrible." But this one just kind of stuck, and I was just kind of hoping that Nathan and Parker and the team would all kind of see what I did in it. But
Which song are you talking about? Because there are 5 songs on the EP,
there's 5 songs, so this was the 5th. It's Pretty Good Living, and I ended up actually just posting a clip of it to TikTok and Instagram. Just to kind of see what would happen. I mean, I loved it so much. Colby and I loved it. We would listen to this demo on repeat in our house, in our car, and I just thought, I wonder if I'm crazy or if other people might like this as much as we do. And it just took off. And
So
Nathan,
you posted it.
I posted it. It took off, and Nathan was texting me right away. He was like, we have to add this to the, and I was like, I was hoping you would say that. So just the fact, that they would be willing to dive into a 5th song so late in the game as well, just really, like, we definitely had beat any other song that would have been that 5th slot. We beat it, and it was after the fact, and that happens sometimes. And I think, creatively, we were all willing to just roll with it and make it work.
Where are you at now? Publishing deal?
Nope.
Not anymore?
No.
No publishing. So how are you writing with these super legit people? Do they just think you're good? I mean, is that just what it is, a respect thing?
I ask myself this sometimes.
I'm not asking in a way of an insulting way. I'm just
No, I love.
I saw Scott Stepikoff, and I've written with Scott way back in the day, and
yes,
yeah,
because you guys were both at Black River.
We were.
Yeah.
My very brief tenure of being on a record label. Yes.
So fun. I remember that.
Yeah. So when I saw the people that you had written with, I was like, oh, it's legit.
Yeah.
So they must, like, to write with Scott, it's almost like you need somebody to set that up.
So, for anybody who doesn't know how it works, I mean, typically you sign the publishing deal, and the publisher is who gets you into all of the rooms that you can't get into yourself, because you're right, these writers, the time is so important for them. I mean, the day that they spend writing is important, and everybody's trying to make the most out of their day.
It's
and
like them going to work. Like, you go to work to make money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's valuable, and it's hard to get into those rooms, especially with the people that you want to get into rooms with. And I haven't had a publishing deal. I think my last deal ran out. I think I was maybe 18, 19 when my last deal ran out. I was terrified. I mean, I thought I had just always had that. I'd had a couple different publishing deals by then, and I thought, what am I going to be without that on my resume, or to be able to get into rooms? And there's just something about this town that just continues to amaze me. How I met Parker Welling. I don't know if you know Parker personally, but she's a hit songwriter. She wrote Yours for Russell Dickerson. She's wrote, a million other things that you guys have heard on the radio. And I was starstruck by her as a writer for years. And my management team just got a message from her one day saying that she wanted to write with me because she saw a clip of me singing at Whiskey Jam, a song that she loved. Happened. Yeah. Wow. And she and I connected and became friends, and she just dove in with me and said, I want to help get you into I want to help you get you into the rooms that are going to elevate what you're already doing, because I believe in this. And to have that kind of thing happen without some of the criteria that I thought I needed to have has just been honestly mind-blowing to me. And fast forward to other, rooms, like with Nathan Chapman and Scott Stepikoff and I mean, just countless other. I mean, I feel like I have the writing schedule that I have dreamt of, and I don't have anybody opening those doors for me. It's just me.
So do you want a publishing deal?
Yes.
Is that the goal? Are you like shipping songs and hey, what do you think?
Yeah.
Like, what can I help you do?
Thank you. It's funny. I'm at a point where I've spent a lot of time spent a lot of time, 10 years knocking on doors and, taking the meetings and doing the thing. And I think I'm really at a point now where it's not a necessity anymore. It's not I have to have the publishing deal to be successful. I have to have a record label to be successful. And so now I am truly just focused on creating the best music that I can, fostering these incredible relationships and friendships that I have, and just enjoying it. And then I think, maybe then the right team will come along with that once I'm already enjoying myself. And
Yeah, I think too, you're seeing, especially with labels, it's becoming more and more prevalent that people don't have labels because they don't need labels. Meaning, if you don't need the promotion, that's what a label does, right?
yeah,
And so I have friends that aren't even on labels. And there were times where people would leave their labels. I mean, for a while, Miranda left her label and they ended up re-signing her. And it's a different example. Another one of my friends, I won't mention who it is, but he left his label. He's like, I don't need a record label. He has a bunch of hits. And he's like, I don't need a label because I don't need the promotion because I'm doing it a bit different now. So labels, definitely not a thing. But I think you're really good. I think you're really good other than I just like you as a person. Yeah, I mean, let me send some stuff off. Just tell me what.
okay.
I'll do it. Everything's up. So which song, if I were to send one song from this project off? Because nobody's going to listen for more than 50 seconds.
Yeah, they listen to like the
That's
first
it.
15 seconds.
They're just
of the
going to
first
listen.
song.
You might get them in for a minute, especially if I go, hey, we listen to this, and you might get them for a minute. But I could send an EP, and they're like, well, which song? But the same thing. I do the same thing. I'm not hating on everybody else. But it's like, you should listen to this artist, even if it's not for work, even if it's for you might enjoy them. Okay, well, let me see. Oh, you sent me a whole album? Oh, great. Now which one? And then I'm like, did I pick the wrong one? So it's like, be very specific, but tell me, like, which song represents you as a writer the best? Because as soon as we're done here, I'll fire it off to a couple people and be like, hey, look at her. I think she's really good.
Thank you so
But I do
much.
think that, or I wouldn't say that.
Thank you.
And nothing may come of it, or something may come of it, or something not now, it may not happen now, but it gets to somebody, You know how the world works.
I just so appreciate you. And I love that about you, just being willing to.
Well, you didn't tell me a song yet, so I've done nothing.
Okay.
I just
You're
stared
like,
at
I'm
you.
not going to do it unless you tell me a song.
Just tell me a song.
As a writer, I am most proud of Pretty Good Living, which is funny because
That's the one, the new one, too.
That's the new one, too.
I'm going to do this right now. So, let's see.
I love this. I want to know who you're texting.
No. No. Let's see. Of that publishing. I have a couple things I'm going to do here.
Okay.
So I know someone who owns part of a publishing company. And then I have my manager is significantly intertwined into this world because he also is a major part of a management company. And I will also go, hey, here she is. You do the thing. Because he'll know who's looking for what and what's looking for who. And again, nothing may happen.
Okay.
But nothing for sure is going to happen if nothing's happening. But something may happen if something's happening, right? Like, got to keep your line on the water. And
Exactly.
But I also...
Well, your line in the water means a lot more than my line in the water, so I appreciate
at this
you throwing
point,
a line.
Okay, at this stage, I would say professionally, that's accurate. But that doesn't mean it's always going to be that way. And it doesn't mean in 3 years, I'm not like, hey, sorry about that. I need some help. You never know. So it's like, get with your people.
Listen, that's how I'll know I've made it, is when you have to ask me for something.
That's okay. I don't think that's true, but fair enough. I'm gonna do a little recon work for you
Thank you.
and see what's up because I think you're really good.
Thank you.
And I also didn't know you didn't have a publishing deal right now, so I'm happy to at least see if other people maybe just weren't aware.
Thank you.
Well, I haven't done anything, but you're welcome.
Well, texted.
Oh, yeah,
somebody.
sure.
I don't
That's
know
true.
what you were doing
That's
on
true.
your phone, but you
Yeah,
did
no, I was
something.
texting and I said, oh, yeah. I said, hey, I'm going to cover the name. Do you still own part of the publishing company? I do. Do you need something? Yeah, I sure do.
I love how quick you get responses.
Again, in this season, I get responses quick. I might not in 2 years. I didn't always get this quick a response. I'll be very honest with you. The last few years have been good to your friend. That's me. It's been very good. It's been good.
Yeah.
People respond quickly. They answer the phone, that type of thing. But it wasn't like that.
That's great. You know, that's kind of how it feels being pregnant. Like people will open the door for you.
That's funny. That's a
It's
good analogy.
It's so funny. Like you're just like, wow, why is everyone being so nice today? And then you realize that you look like you're struggling everywhere you go.
Let's see. I'm going to send this. Share. Okay. What do you, because I'm going to say what I'm going to say, but what would you want someone to say about you if they were like, check this song out? Or like what communication, how would you communicate it if you were me about you?
As an artist
No.
or a writer, like
How would you like me to communicate this? And I may not communicate it the way that you say, but like, what would you like me to say to somebody who could possibly make a decision? Like, hey, if you have a few minutes, listen to this, or like, I think this artist is really good, or sign her or I kill you. Like, there's all these options.
I think listen to this and yeah, like, and obviously listen to the whole project if you get a moment, because I think it all of them showcase different parts of me as a writer and an artist. But
That's pretty standard, though. If I say that, that's what everybody says.
yeah,
And I think it's actually accurate. I do believe it at the same time.
But I think the story in that, and I think the way that song, like I'm proud of every line of that song. Like that wasn't one that I left where I listened to the demo and I thought, oh, we need to tweak that second verse, or we need to, that one just had a pretty bow on it from the minute we walked out. And
Okay, this is what I'm writing. And I'm not lying. I'm not exaggerating. I mean, I'll show it to you, but I said...
say I'm just proud of that one, I guess.
Say you're just proud of that one? No, I'm not going to say
No,
you
you say whatever you want.
I'm going to say I'm proud of this one. Why would I say I'm proud of it? I didn't do crap.
So you loved every line you wrote in that song.
I
There
just
you go.
take what she said and wrote it all.
He's like, actually, I'm a co-writer.
And by the way, I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
Okay. My person that I'm messaging has a pretty significant position, and I know he travels a lot,
Okay.
internationally even. So I'm going to say, listen to this a few times when you fly. I can even show you this.
Okay, love
I said,
that.
listen to this a few times, because I'm not putting the pressure on, like, listen to this and let me know, because I hate when people do that to me.
Yeah. Yeah, because everyone's busy. Everyone's in the middle of something.
So listen to this a few times when you fly, etc., etc. I said, she doesn't have a pub deal. She's good, refreshing, in case you guys were looking at new people.
Love
That's
it.
literally what I'm saying, because that's my voice and that's how I feel.
I love it.
Okay, and I am sending, boom. It has been sent. That's one. I'll do another one after the interview. But this is not part of a bit. I don't think I've ever done that during this. But hopefully I have the track record at thinking that you're a special artist, that you don't feel like that was just for a bit.
No,
You know?
I just you have going back to talking about that first time that we met when you did the duet on TikTok. You have done this kind of thing for me more than once, and I just really appreciate it. I mean, that's the kind of thing that I go home at the end of a day and I'm like, why? Like, I'm just pinching myself most days that I'm here, just showing up. And I don't know, somebody taking a chance on you is how it's how it happens. I mean,
I agree with that.
and it's been incredible to be in my seat watching you text somebody. Because I believe it's just always been so genuine with you, and I don't know. I don't know why, but I'm grateful. So thank you for everything.
Well, I know why you
you've
should be
done.
grateful. I just texted somebody that owns part of a publishing company. But no, I'm kidding. I believe in you.
No, I'm saying I don't
do
know
believe-
why you.
I know. I'm kidding. And I feel the same way about people that have done the same thing for me. So just keep it going. One day you'll get to believe in somebody and do the same thing. And they'll be like, why do you even believe in me? And you're like, I don't know, but I do.
I don't know, but I like it.
Why'd you name it the way we started?
Oh, that's kind of fun. Darcy's on my team. She gets a little bit of credit for this, but we were okay. We made a lyric Bible. I typed out all of the lyrics in this entire project and made them kind of pretty in a Word doc, and I was highlighting different things because none of the titles felt like the title of the EP to me. Usually there's something that jumps out as, oh, this is what the project's called. It's the third track title. And that just didn't happen this time because each song felt like it didn't cover the entirety of the project. And so
I like how you did it, by the way. I like when you name the project something that encompasses the entire project.
thank you. It felt unfinished to just like pick a title and slap it on there.
Right.
And it took us a while. There was a few different songs and pockets of lyrics that I was deciding between. And the way we started is a line in What If We Broke Up, which ironically, that song is what started this whole project. That's the first time that I wrote with Nathan Chapman and Parker Welling together.
And that was about your husband, right? Like, what if you broke up?
Oh, yeah. True story, top to bottom. And that song, I mean, that was the first time we had written together. I had no idea what was coming of that day, but shortly after, Nathan called and said, I want to, I want to cut a few sides and pick some more songs and make this a thing. And that song is what started the whole thing. And Darcy pointed out the way we started as a line, as an option. I just thought, oh my gosh, that is, it's everything, because I've been doing this for 10 years and I still feel like I'm just getting started. And these songs are each kind of a different part of that story of how I got started, how Colby and I got started, and how we started our family. And there's so much in there.
I can't believe you were 17 and you came here by yourself. That's wild.
I can't either. I can't believe it.
So when you're 17 and you move here, I mean, you couldn't even vote here. Like that matters. I don't know what I can do. I can't vote. But I mean, you're not. Are you an adult? Did you sign something that said you're 17 and an adult, or no?
No, but I moved in January when I was 17, and I was 17 for about 9 months here. So
That's almost a whole year. You're almost all of 17 here.
I will say I did have a publishing deal at the time with a lady named Kat Gravitt and Kai Fleming, who are just, I mean, Kai's a Hall of Fame songwriter. These women are incredible. I had a manager, Leanne Phelan, at the time, and I had such a strong support circle of women too, that it was just this natural progression of, I'd been taking trips back and forth. As soon as I graduated, it just kind of felt like the right thing. I wasn't going to go to college because I told my parents I'm not going to spend a bunch of money and be in debt to, I don't need a songwriting degree. I don't need really, I mean, I was immersing myself in the world that I wanted to be in, and I felt like I was going to learn the most by not going to school. And yeah, I had like 3 secondary moms out here, and I think my parents really felt like, okay, she has a community and she's got people looking out for her. I found a roommate on Facebook, and she was I think 19, but we were in the same boat. She was chasing an artist career as well, and it was just it just felt normal, even though when you say it on paper, it does not look normal at all. But it felt right.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Were you always super mature?
Yes.
Like even.
And I'm not trying to say that in a weird.
No, I asked you the question
way.
though.
Yeah.
You didn't say, "Hey, I need something. I need to say something. I'm super mature." No, I asked because I was extremely mature at 15 because I had to kind of grow into it, right? I think we are the product of our circumstances.
Yeah.
I think in a lot of ways, I was adult mature as a young kid because I had to develop those skills. Now, emotionally, my wife would say now I'm not as mature as like a normal 19-year-old because I never developed those skills because I was so hyper focused on my career because I was so scared.
But you developed, like, you had survival skills
Yes.
of like real world, like street smart of how to operate.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I did not have the normal person skills. So as I was like weaponed out to like whatever I needed to do to survive and thrive, I didn't have the ability to like connect with someone on a human level. I could put a microphone in front of me and do this all day and make people feel like I'm their best friend. But when it was no microphone, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to be in a relationship. I didn't know anything. I mean, my family, the family, that nobody ever said they loved each other. I never had told, in a relationship, I never had told that to anybody until my wife. But I never said that to family. It was not said. So I didn't know how to feel it or communicate it.
And communicating it is, I mean, it's hard for everybody, let alone if you've never heard that and been used to hearing that.
Yes, I'm getting better at it. But and my point is I was wildly mature in one area but not in another. But I was, and I could have moved anywhere at 16 or 17 and been fine. But you're 17. I imagine you had to have made a bunch of mature decisions for your parents to feel like, we trust her. She has a track record of doing things that are smart, mature, adult-like.
Yeah, I was trusted. I feel like I was given a lot of privileges growing up because I was a rule follower. I mean, I just was a clean kid, and I knew. It's funny. I think my parents knew when I came to this city and had this apartment with, like, I wasn't doing anything wild. Like, I was just a very cautious.
Were you focused? Would you describe yourself as focused at 17?
Yes, incredibly focused, incredibly calculated might not be the right word, but everything that I did was like intentional and cautious. I think I was like more scared of I would have never been caught being somewhere sketchy too late. You didn't have to worry about me with that because I was like just very aware of my surroundings, very cautious about everything.
How did you get here? Did you drive your own car out here?
Yeah, my mom and I drove my Chevy Silverado from Colorado, and we stopped in Arkansas all the time. You know, growing up, we might have talked about this, but
Tell me again.
My
I don't even remember meeting you, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Who are you? My extended family is all in Fayetteville.
I remember that. Yeah.
So my brother went to school there, and but growing up, we would stop at my Aunt Joyce's farm. We would drive back and forth and stop there along the way. So.
How long did she stay here before she left you? Your mom?
Oh, I think maybe a few weeks. She was nannying for actually one of the women I was working with adopted late in life, and she was nannying, helping out with somebody's newborn. So she stayed to make sure that I was okay.
They ever come back now?
Oh.
Now they have a granddaughter?
Oh, yeah. Once a month.
Really? Are they still near Fort Collins or in the area? Yeah.
Yep, and so is my brother. So he went to school in Fayetteville and then moved back home. And
they play music, your mom or dad?
No, nobody else is musical. They all love music. They're not musical.
I wonder what made you, or what created that desire to go even deeper. Because it wasn't like you were watching your dad play a guitar in the living room, but for some reason you wanted to learn more about these artists or learn more about it. I wonder where that desire came from.
I wonder that sometimes too. I was sitting down at the piano when I was 4 years old trying to prop the music sheet up and figure out, and my grandma always played piano. And so there was kind of this desire early on to learn, and my parents put me in lessons. When everybody does piano lessons when they're little, it's like the thing to do.
I did them when I was like 30. I hired a teacher to come to my house.
I love that.
Yeah. So that's when I did them. But I was also writing comedy music and not really knowing how to do the music part because I write jokes and try to put them into songs. And I was like, I need to learn how to play piano.
It's kind of foundational, I feel like piano is.
I did it all wrong. I mean, I hear you. To me, it wasn't, and I struggled, and I can do some chords, and I learned how to read music a little bit. But I'm not even a good guitar player. Like, I can play like 9 chords and figure out the others. But piano was tough. I think if I would have learned it first, I think that would have been a good foundation. But I didn't know anything about music.
It's interesting. I feel like when people are trying to learn guitar without knowing anything about piano, I'm kind of impressed because I feel like without knowing anything about chord structure or different notes in a chord or anything, like I feel like it would make guitar harder. So,
but you're
good job.
assuming that's what and how they're learning, because I know nothing about that now. I know nothing. And again, I was also on American Idol for 4 years, getting paid a healthy wage to tell people what to sing, how to sing it, what songs they should avoid, what keys they should sing it. Like, and I don't know any of that, right? So I don't know. But what I did is I bought a poster at Walmart that told me where to put my fingers.
Love it.
I
love it.
And that's all I know now is, okay, you want a C, you want a G, you want an F. I just know where to put my fingers.
You just know the
but
shape.
I don't know a scale. I don't know anything.
See, I will admit that I've lost a lot of that knowledge along the way because you realize, okay, for what we're doing, you only need so much. So it's kind of like selective memory. I do feel like I've forgotten a lot of the things that I should know. I definitely am not classically trained or anything, but it was helpful for me to have some of that basis. By the time I went to figure out the guitar, I think I was I was a quick study.
Do you ever write on piano now?
No.
Could you play now if there was one in front of you?
I have one in front of me a lot because my daughter she loves my keyboard. She's so interested. And I'm terrible now. So I need to get it. I mean, I know how to read music. I just need to it's a skill. It's like muscle memory. You got to keep. So some of it kind of comes back when I sit down, but it's bad. I gotta refresh.
Are you getting to play much? Like with people watching? You doing,
Are we talking about piano or just
no,
in general?
just in general, anything.
Yes, I will say, getting ready for baby number 2, that's slowed down a little bit, but
You've been doing some shows?
Yeah.
Yeah?
And it's always been a lot of like writers' rounds and different things around here for me. Anything that I feel like I love an intimate setting. Maybe it's just that my voice really like lends itself to that, but
I would agree. You have a very precious voice.
Thank you.
And I think you're right. Some voices are better for different places. I also think that you could play anywhere, but I do understand the preciousness of your voice and how you might think it's better in an intimate setting. I don't think you're right on that, where it's just better in an intimate setting, but I think you have a very precious voice.
Thank you.
But you also speak with that same voice.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't you agree, Mike?
Yeah.
Like a little baby bird.
Very joyful voice.
Yeah, I feel like I could break its neck with a single turn. So, yeah, the cool thing about Nashville is, there's always somewhere to play. Do you ever play a song that you just wrote and, I don't know, gauge?
Yeah. I love listening room for that. I feel like you can really get most rooms in Nashville, I feel like you can get a pretty good sense when you play something new. But I felt that way with Diamond and a Baby that's on the EP. I just knew that one. It's partly because it's fun and up tempo and there's clapping and people love it. But that was one that when I started playing it in front of anyone, I was like, okay, this is going to be good.
Are you an organized person now?
Yeah.
Do you keep a calendar?
Yeah.
Like, what is in your phone? You have a calendar of like
Yeah.
stuff? What do you put in your rights?
Yeah.
Okay. Like mine, everything's like colored, right? Like I have like 5. How do you organize yours?
Okay, maybe I'm not as organized as I thought.
I am hyper.
Everything
don't
is
compare,
just like
don't
thrown
compare
in.
yourself to me because I am. It's like one of the things that I'm prideful of, but it's a survival thing.
Yeah,
I need everything mapped out exactly.
which is great.
Right. It depends who you're talking to. But yes, I can be a little rigid.
I actually have been wanting to lately get a written plan. Do you have a written
I don't do
planner?
that. It's all cute for a minute. It's like going to get a butter churner. It's like, it was fun for a picture, but god dang, 4 times you want to churn a butter, it sucks.
Okay, you're about to save me money because I was about
You need
to
a butter churner? Yeah. Don't get that. I mean, you can get one, but it's annoying. What are you trying to prove? You're carrying around paper. And also, if it gets wet, it sucks. You got to have a pen.
It's like
you lose your pen, got to borrow a pen. Now you got COVID because the pen had COVID on it. You don't need that. You can't put it in your pocket. Just do it on your phone.
Okay, it's the writer in me. I want to see it.
Yeah, it is romantic to write.
Yes.
Yeah. I bet you have good handwriting.
I want to romanticize my schedule.
Okay, pull up your phone. Do you have your phone with you?
No, I don't.
Do you even have you use a phone? She's like, I do not. I want to romanticize.
I'm off the grid. No,
I mail all my correspondence.
I very much so have my phone. You're making me nervous with what I'm supposed to be.
Nothing. This is just a little test.
Okay.
What do you have? What is today? The second.
The second.
What'd you have for today?
You.
Okay, good. Like it. What about tomorrow?
A doctor's appointment.
Good.
For this
What
child.
about? Let me just move on here. The 25th. Do you have anything October 25th?
I have. Oh, my daughter's birthday is the 27th, but I have nothing that Friday.
Okay, so that's cool. Because what I would like to invite you to do, I had some friends. You're going to make your Opry debut.
No. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you.
What?
So if your calendar's free, how would you like to?
Oh my God. You have got to be joking.
I'm not joking.
What is happening right now? Did you all know about this?
You haven't answered the question.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. I will be there. Oh my gosh. I thought you were just. Did you just make this up? Just like texting
What do you mean?
people?
Did I make? No.
Does the Opry know about this?
Yes. Yes. That would be funny. No, I didn't make it up. The texting had nothing to do with this.
Oh my gosh.
But the Opry would like to invite you to come out and make your Opry debut on October 25th.
Oh my gosh. I cannot believe this.
How does that make you feel?
It's just the most surreal. I think this is the most surreal moment of my 10 years. Whew. I've dreamt about that for so long, and you watch your heroes do. That's just the one thing that is like you've made it when you do that. I can't believe they're going to let me do that.
They're not letting you do anything.
Wow.
They think you have earned the ability to play that stage. So they're not letting you. There's no charity involved here. There's no Make-A-Wish. If so, I'd have gotten on there a long time early, way earlier than they finally let me play. No, I think they have an appreciation for what you do, how you do it, what you've created, even with the new project.
Wow.
And so the 25th,
Oh my gosh.
I did set you up on the other dates. Like, I was like, what are you doing today? I was just kind of walking you to it.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much.
I'm not the Opry. I just am the conduit to get it to you.
You were the deliverer of the best news.
Do you tell your mailman thank you? Every day he goes, thank you so much. Mr. UPS guy, you are the reason I got this package. Yeah.
I do say, okay, I say thank you a lot. It's better. I've gotten better about apologizing a lot. I no longer say sorry too much, but I say thank you a lot.
How did sorry
Which I
come
think
up
that's
as maybe a crutch word? Where did that?
I think so many girls have this as a crutch word. Like somebody like hits us in the face with a door and we apologize for being in the way of the door. It's just kind of this
You think it's a culture thing?
Yeah. It's just kind of this knee-jerk thing that we say all the time. And I think probably dating Colby and being in that relationship was the first time that, he was like, you do not need to be sorry. There's nothing like,
Don't be sorry that you exist.
yeah. So now I say thank you a lot, but I don't say sorry.
I think it's probably better. Thank you is better than sorry.
Yeah.
Unless you're saying it for the same reason. That would just be weird.
Yeah.
You bump into somebody, thank you. No, that's a little odd.
No, this is a perfect setting to be thankful for. So that's why I'm saying it a lot here. But
Well, I'm excited
Wow.
for you. It is a really cool night that you deserve.
thank you.
And it's going to be a little overwhelming in the greatest way.
I'm already nervous.
Good.
I feel like I don't.
Good.
This is one of those things that, and it's so kind of you to say those things because I almost feel like imposter syndrome. I almost feel like, oh my gosh, like they think that I'm deserving of playing the Opry. That feels insane to me.
But they do think that. They do believe that. I also think that and believe that, but it had nothing to do with them thinking that and believing that. I did not make a single, don't even think this is a me thing. I didn't make a single call to the Opry to be like, please let my friend on.
Wow.
I wouldn't do that because that's such an important thing that call I would not make.
That's what's crazy to me is it's this thing that's it's just so coveted, and I don't know, maybe nobody ever feels worthy when they get to do it for the first time, but I feel like they're I'm skating by getting in there. It's crazy.
You'll always feel like that regardless of what happens because I do.
Do you?
I have 10 blankets of imposter syndrome on me at all times.
It's interesting. Like I wonder, maybe that's a good thing in a way that you.
I think what's great about it is also what's unhealthy about it, and it's how you balance that. Because what's great about it for me is I'm never satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if my momentum is gone, I'm done. Like as soon as there's not momentum, I'm out. Why would anybody hire me for anything if there's not momentum behind me or a reason that they feel other than whatever talent? Because I don't feel like I'm that talented. I feel like I'm only momentum based. So the great part is it keeps me motivated and I'm driven. But the bad part is it keeps me way motivated and I'm driven at times when I probably shouldn't be, like an unhealthy obsession.
Like you don't take the time to step away when you need to, like
Never.
like a break, a rest.
Never. And I don't. It's gotten to the point where it's very unhealthy. I don't even sleep anymore, and not in the way of like, I work all the time. Like I never felt like, and I still don't feel like I have anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And I have friends that have it, but now I've learned that I do have it. It's just whenever I lay down to go to sleep, as soon as I lay down, my heart. And there's about nothing, but about everything.
It's because you're so wired at all times.
I have such imposter syndrome that I feel like if I'm not doing everything right, then nothing is going to be right. Everything's going to be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So it's my job. This is what I must tell myself in my and subconscious. It's my job to make sure everything goes right tomorrow. I get everywhere on time. It has to be at the highest level. I need to be prepared. I'm not picking to do that. I'm not laying down going, okay, well, now it's time for me to think about all this stuff.
Yeah.
But again, I have massive amounts of imposter syndrome, but also what makes me really great also is what drives me crazy and makes me unhealthy. And I don't like that, but also I love it.
I will say, I feel like that's something about you that's going.
I don't think it's about me. I think I'm just relating to you. You're always going to have it.
Yeah.
Because you're a creator and you're putting pressure to create something that's it's not tangible.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing that you're creating that I can reach out and touch or put in my pocket. And then you have to, as an artist, base your success on somebody's feelings. And if they like something or if it resonates with them, that's a weird world to live in.
That's what we were talking about with all those publishing meetings and record label meetings and all these. I've had multiple close calls. I call them close calls. It's like these almost deals that you think that deal or that person believing in you is going to like make or break, and it falls through. And then we're trained in this industry to be putting so much weight on what all these different people think of us, including going into, I mean, you've got to feel that way being on TV and perform. I mean, we're putting ourselves out there for all of these different people, especially in 2024 with social media and everybody just ripping everybody else to shreds. It's like we're just opened up to waiting to hear what people think about us, and it's all subjective.
It's all subjective.
It really shouldn't be, hey, what do you think about me? It should be, hey, I'm really proud of this song that I created with really special people, and we felt something when we wrote it, and I want you to feel that way too. And that's what I try to focus on, but it's so hard to like get out of the way of, oh my gosh, am I going to hit all the notes? And are people going to,
Is the video going to get as many streams?
yes. Is this song going to flop?
Sure.
After I've been so excited. I mean, all of that is just so constant that.
It's a bizarre world, but it's also awesome, right? And the worst things about it also are the greatest. And it's trying to figure out how to balance it. I don't have that figured out. I've figured out that I'll never figure it out. Mm-hmm. And there's a little bit of peace with that.
Yeah.
And that there is no fountain that I'm going to find that gives me the ability to understand. There is no fountain. And so I can accept that. And to something you said earlier where you're like, you wait for a bunch of almost. I would even go up one where I've had things that I've gotten that I was sure were going to change my scope. Because I just had an almost. And my life is a constant list of almost. Nobody knows the almost, right? Those aren't public. Fox called me a couple weeks ago about hosting a network game show, and they were like, hey, you'd be perfect for this job. I didn't approach them. I didn't know about the show. And I was like, yeah, tell me more about it. They're like, it's da-da-da-da. And I'm like, cool. So I got on with the network heads, and they were like, we love you. You're the guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool. And then I got on with the heads of the production company. They're like, man, we love you. You're the guy. And I'm like, cool. And I got a call from my agent like a day later, and they were like, oh, they ended up going with some other person. Oh. And I was like, huh. And I get it. There's a lot of rejection in this business, and I get it a lot. But I was thinking, man, this would be a good one to get. Like, this is the next thing. But then I have to remind myself that I've gotten those things that I thought were going to be the next things, and they weren't the next thing.
That's what's interesting is that sometimes when you get that thing, it doesn't
lead to where you think it should lead you.
Yeah.
But there have been things where I thought they would lead to nothing or didn't have any there was not a single thought about what this could do. I was just doing it because either I love to do it or I was challenged by it. And it actually led to massive things. There just is I just try to not think I can understand it with more effort because I can't. And I need to balance that.
It's like the working smarter, not harder thing.
For me, I just know I'm not going to figure it out. So why waste energy trying to figure it out? And now I still try to figure it out sometimes.
Yeah.
But why waste energy if my whole key is like executing and doing things at a high level, things I love, things that I am challenged by? Why am I going to spend time trying to figure out something that I know I'm not going to figure out? So most of the time I can talk myself out of wasting that energy. I'm human. Yeah. I can't always. And that's what you're saying. You're like, there were so many almosts. But I don't think any of those would have led to whatever it is that you're wanting to be led to.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I agree. And you see that looking back in hindsight.
Yeah, I mean, it's happened to me 100 times.
Yeah.
My almost, or the ones I got, never led to what I really thought. It was always the things I didn't know, didn't expect, that I was passionate about, either, again, because I loved doing it or because I was challenged by it.
Mm-hmm. I also think that's something important, too, that I've been learning to do lately is just kind of redefining what success is. Yeah. Because I think you and I are both have that personality of being driven to be successful. But especially after starting my family, it's been this journey of going, okay, so I thought that from the time I was 14, 15, I thought that success was the publishing deal, the record deal, a certain trajectory on radio. Then you're successful. Then you hope to have X amount of hits. There's just a path. And
because it's been other people's path, and then we're told that's the path. That's the path.
That's the path.
Yeah.
And that's what makes you feel fulfilled and feel successful. And it's interesting. I love this part of your story because it's like you didn't even know to put that as an end result for yourself.
Correct.
Like you had no idea.
And had I tried, I don't think I would have got it because I would have tried it a different way.
Exactly.
And the way that I thought I should would not have been the accurate way.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's my point. I don't have a point. I don't know points. I don't know anything.
No, but it's inspiring for me because there's so much right now that, like you asked me where I'm at as an artist or what I'm doing. And it's funny because there's so much of the time right now that I go day by day, week by week, and I think I'm going to write the best I can write. I'm going to sing the best I can sing. I'm going to show up the best that I can. And I don't even know, this journey has been so long for me and it's changed so many times. And sometimes I'm like, I don't even know where the end result is. Right. I just know that I just know that I don't want to compromise family to get it either. I mean, that was a choice that I made. And, you know, hey, I'm not going to let becoming a mom scare me out of the other things that I want to do.
Did it scare you the first time with your daughter?
Absolutely.
Did you think it was like going to have to be big back seat or over, or I don't know what your mind was?
Yeah. My first daughter was a surprise. She was the best surprise ever. But yeah, it was hard for me, not because I didn't think I could do all of the things I was doing. It was more about worrying about the perception of people in the industry. And I think that's getting better, but I feel like there was just kind of, for a while there, just kind of an underlying
I agree.
stigma. And I don't really, nobody's ever specifically made me feel that way. It's just, I think, and I've talked to a lot of other female artists who feel that way. I even felt that way a little bit about getting married, which is so funny.
Because you're in a boy band and you don't want the people to think you have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
I felt that, like, Justin Timberlake.
It's like, yeah.
I mean, but a little bit. I mean, that's it, right. I mean, that's his thing.
It is,
it's
and it's so funny because it's like, who are we supposed to look available for?
Right.
That's so weird. Like, and it's funny that now, like, these songs about, I mean, that year that I got pregnant for the first time and was just kind of going through all of this, I had no idea. Talk about not knowing where the end result's going to be or what's going to, I mean, that was just, it was the best time of my life. And I just thought, I am not going to let a concern about opinions or whatever in this industry, like, ruin this joy for me. So I just had a blast, and we wrote this song called Right on Time. I wrote that with Scott Stepikoff as well. And it changed everything for me because the way that people connected to that song that I wrote about meeting my husband and meeting my daughter at the right time and her coming into this world at the perfect, like, people just resonated so much with that. And I realized, oh, I don't have to be the boy band person who doesn't share real life. I can actually relate more to my audience being myself. Like, that's what's so great about this is, like, most of the girls in my age group, we're dating, we're getting married, we're trying to have babies, we're struggling to get a toddler down to bed at night, and we're stressed out, and we're trying to work and clean dishes and do all this stuff. And it's like, why can't we just talk about that in a song? Because I miss hearing that. Like, some of these songs that made me fall in love with country music was, you know, Trisha Yearwood and Martina McBride. And I just think we were, like, celebrating all of these things that womanhood is. And I just realized I don't have to hide all of those things. So it's just gotten better and better with, you know, and now I'm in another season of, I don't know how to have two babies. I don't know how to juggle it all, but
We don't have to. Yeah, you got a little time.
Yeah, I got some
You
time.
got the Opry to play first.
Exactly.
So everybody out there, so here's the thing. The Way We Started is the 5-song EP. But if she had to pick one, she'd pick Pretty Good Living because that's the one I sent. But no, check out The Way We Started. And you can follow her at Sarahbeth Taite, Taite. We'll also put it in the notes. And October 25th, you will be making your Grand Ole Opry debut. And it'll be awesome.
You got to come.
I don't know where I am.
He's like, not even here.
It's so stupid. I'm gone all the time.
Well, if you can come, you have to come.
I think
It'll
that
be
is a
full
fair.
circle.
I think that's a fair ask.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
Continue. That's all. Not to continue doing it right or doing it wrong or being a success or not. Just continue.
Thank you.
As long as you feel like you should go, and know that you're not the only one with imposter syndrome. Everybody has it. Everybody. It's if they admit it or not. And if they don't, they're a psycho killer.
Exactly.
They're a psycho killer. They're psychotic. I'm a big fan, and I can just, I didn't get a text back yet, in case you're wondering. But between that and, I program the Women of iHeart Country, and you have something new, we put it on.
That has been so
the country
fun.
top 30, we put it on. So
Thank you.
I'm a fan of your art as well as of you as a person, and I hope over the amount of times we've known each other, you can see that for what it is, that it's true, and it's not just me selling you a bill of goods.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for playing all the songs, and it's just been a highlight of life for us, is like running out to our car in the driveway to hear when the song comes on.
They have apps now.
Yeah, we like the real experience.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
To me, it's not, with you, it's not if, it's when. I don't know when it's going to be, but it's going to happen.
Thank you. I hope you're right.
Yeah, I feel like I'm right, but we'll see. We will see. What do your friends call you?
SB.
Too many syllables for two. SB. It's too hard. I'm tired. SB.
You know,
It's a weird mix together.
If you think that's long, a lot of
SB.
people call me SBT.
All right, I'll just say, hey, you.
You think
SB
you
stuff.
think Sarahbeth is easier?
I think
than
it's
SB?
equal. I think it's equal. Sarahbeth, SB. I think it's equal. So I don't know why I just want to call you.
It drops a syllable.
No, it doesn't. SB. Watch. SB. Sarahbeth.
No, Sarahbeth.
No, you're doing it too quick. I would say Sarahbeth.
Okay.
So to me, if you're going to have SB be short for Sarahbeth, it should be shorter to say. Sarahbeth, SB.
You're just
I'm out.
skipping a third syllable in Sarahbeth.
Yeah, Tate. All right, we're done. You guys follow Sarahbeth Taite. Go watch the Opry October 25th and check out The Way We Started. All right, good to see you, Sarah. Beth
Thank
Tate. All right.